All right. Welcome to the Smart Mind Show, episode 56. I'm Nate, the Fit Future MD, your host. Be sure to shop at Instacell.com and pick you up a cool, inspirational t shirt today. All right. So, we all heard there was an anonymous donor who wanted to give $130 million to the U.S. troops during this government shutdown. Well, he's been identified as billionaire Timothy Mellon, uh, son of Andrew Mellon, who I think used to work for the Federal Reserve or something. But the donation equates to about $100 per member, and which it appears to be a violation of the Anti Deficiency Act, which prohibits federal agencies from spending funds in advance or in excess of congressional appropriations, and from accepting voluntary services except in the case of emergency involving the safety of human life or the protection of property. Right? So basically, they got a law that keeps you from taking money from the public in a quid pro quo or, I do this, you do that type of manner. Right? So, and honestly, it ends up being like $100 per service member. And obviously, with the government shutdown, $100 may help some of the service members. Um, but I don't think it's going to be worth the court battle here for the $130 million. I, you know, it's almost like, could you have been provided like a list of names and hit them all on their Venmo or something? But feel like it's a good thing that Timothy Mellon was trying to do. He obviously was trying to do it anonymously without being known, but of course, everything leaks out in social media society. So, but let's say the government's continued to be shut down. Our service members got their paycheck on the 15th. I don't know if they'll end up getting the one in November or not. Hopefully, they can figure out a compromise here and get the government back going. Um, but definitely, worst case scenario for the federal workers and anyone involved. All right. So, Louvre heist was an inside job, detectives believe. That there's digital forensic evidence that shows that there was a cooperation between one of the museum's security guards and the thieves. And I feel like if you're getting paid as a security guard, I don't know how much they get paid in France. I know they get paid dirt in the United States, maybe $12 an hour, $15 an hour to be a security guard in the United States. So if someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, man, all you got to do is let me know about the timing of something, and you'll get $1 million of this $76 million they just stole in jewels," I feel like that person's gonna be like, "Okay, yeah, I'm not really doing anything wrong. I'm just letting you have information, right?" Um, but basically, sensitive information was passed on the museum, which is how they were aware to breach the museum. Let's say the robbers were yet to be identified, but the thieves basically slipped in and out in minutes, making off with 8 pieces of France's crown jewels. And they basically called it the equivalent of burning down Notre Dame in 2019. Let me know what you guys think about this story. Was it an inside job? 100%. You think it's an inside job? Or did the thieves, you know, just get in and out without anybody on the inside? Let me know what you think in the comments below. This episode is brought to you by London and the Googly Goo, which is my wife's children's book. If you have nieces, nephews, or children of your own, be sure to check out London and the Googly Goo, available on Amazon. All right. So today we have Aaron. All right. Aaron says, I hate my job, but it pays well. Should I stay miserable for the money or take a pay cut and follow my passion? Right. So I feel like a lot of people are in this situation, especially small town USA. In small town USA, there's not but so many good jobs, right? Or so many jobs that pay enough to, have a good living, you know, what would be considered a good living, right? Um, so I feel like a lot of people are in this situation, right? And my answer to this is probably a little bit different than other people's answer to this, but I would stay in the job I hate and have a plan to reach financial freedom, right? So, matter of fact, if there's a higher paying job that I would hate worse, I would probably go do it for a little while, sacrifice and do it for a little while so that I would be free forever, right? So that's how I kind of work that way. So if you're needs a strategy to reach financial freedom, to get out of that job that you hate, so that you can go do the job that pays less that you really love. Hit me up in the description for life coaching, but um, you really just got to think about a job as, hey, this is just a job. This is just how I feed myself, right? Too many people are too emotionally invested in something that shouldn't be emotional, right? Um, like I say, it's just a job, and you know, uh, the shorter amount of time it takes you to get to financial freedom, the better off you'll be, right? But yeah, in small town USA, this is seen a lot. Like there's only going to be, maybe, so say you got 15,000 people in a small town. There might be 100 good, like really good jobs in that town, and if you get one of them, you're not going to give that job up until you reach financial freedom. Like, it's just, to me, it would be stupid to go from making 80 or $100,000 back to making $25,000 with the rest of the jobs in the small town, right? Like, it's saying you got 15,000 people, probably 5,000, 6,000 of them are in the poverty level in the small towns, right? So, you know, like, you might have a passion for something else, do that on the side. Okay, so here's a scenario. So if you got a passion for something else, so like me with a t-shirt company, right? I have a passion for wearing inspirational t-shirts at instasale.com, but it's not making enough money currently for me to say screw my job, right? But I can start that on the side and promote that on the side. And hey, I make these inspirational t-shirts. If you like one, please buy one. And just go around and tell anybody. If you can get 10,000 people of your $15,000 town to purchase a t-shirt, you know, at $5 a pop, that's 50 grand, right? So that's just your little town too. So keep that in mind. But maybe you can become one of the employers in the area. But start it as a side hustle. Spend a couple hours a day on it, and see if it'll get you to take off if you have a different passion, right? So keep that in mind. I'm not just going to jump into my passion project if it's not going to pay the bills. And I'm also going to lower all my expenses so that I can invest more and become financially free. Like I say, sign up for life coaching if you are interested in learning how to set up your financial freedom journey. All right. And the last thing of the day, which is, of course, the quote of the day, and it says, fear doesn't mean stop. It means you're standing in front of something that actually matters, right? So this kind of goes back to the last thing. You have some kind of passion project, or anything like that. If it doesn't scare you to start something, then you know it won't change you, right? Like, if it doesn't scare you, it actually doesn't matter, right? So keep that in mind. If you're going to go start a passion project and it doesn't scare you to start that passion project, you know, you're not, then it actually doesn't really matter to you, right? Like I say, there's several instances where, you know, like I say, I'm this scientist guy, right? I'm, the 140 IQ guy, like, uh, you know, to say, oh, I started making t-shirts. Like that was something that, was very fearful as far as if you're worried about what everybody else thinks, and, you know, that meant that I cared about what other people think. And well, at the end of the day, I was like, well, that's not who I am on the inside. So we're going to start this thing anyway and screw what everybody else thinks. But, so yeah, I started InstaSale.com and, tried to make something where your clothing has meaning, right? It allows you to uh, become a better person, make people around you better, makes you not fearful of things, that kind of thing. So that's what this quote means to me. Let me know in the comments below what the quote means to you. I'm Nate, the Fit Future MD. I'm a life coach. If you're looking for life coaching, hit me up in the DM or sign up for life coaching directly. Shop at InstaSale.com. Pick up a cool inspirational t-shirt today and grab my wife's book, London and the Goo Goo Goo, if you got nieces, nephews, or children of your own. And we'll see you in the next piece.